Hey, Chloe. How you doing?
I'm just waiting for the part where you do
Oh,
something. Oh, okay. I
How?
can't stay mad at you. You're one of the few
What I would
characters who
like to do
doesn't want to make
what
me
I would like
puke
to
in
do
this
today,
game.
Chloe. I would like to, preferably, I would play a better game, but unfortunately, we have to get this one done. So,
this is so depressing. Chloe, play Despacito.
I have to
No.
wonder, does Chloe really endear you guys that much, or is it a case where she's like the one beacon of
Hold
light?
on, anyway, best character.
Hank Anderson is a 53-year-old police officer, valedictorian of his police academy. He quickly distinguished himself through courage and intellect, solving many difficult investigations. Though he looked set for a brilliant career in the Detroit police force, he suffered some kind of cruel setback. Anderson slowly slinked into alcoholism and unpredictable, even suicidal state of mind, which earned him multiple warnings and disciplinary penalties. All this was put and regarded highly by his former colleagues, who know what a brilliant officer he was, but also feared for his bad temper and dry humor. Anderson seems to want to be left in peace. He has little esteem for humanity in general, preferring the company of his dog. Antisocial, he only ventures out to frequently sleazy bars. One last detail: he hates androids.
But he's about to find out that
Keep in
androids
mind,
aren't
this is
all
the
too
best
bad.
character in the entire game. Let that sink in.
Like I said, but he's about to find out that androids can be all right.
Pretty much.
Oh god damn it, that got me imagining a David Cage game with Rob Snyder.
Karl Manfred is an internationally renowned painter who became the leading figurehead of the neo-symbolist movement in the 2020s. His unique talent makes him one of the most in vogue artists, and many of his paintings are sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. Manfred divides critics, some seeing him as the greatest genius since Bacon, others thinking he has no talent whatsoever. Well, that's just how it works, usually. He's original and provocative in his art. Manfred also led a subversive lifestyle. All the celebrities with mad, bad, and dangerous reputations flocked to his parties. It was during this period that a short-term fling produced his son Leo, a child he acknowledges, but to whom his relationship is difficult.
His son is literally
You know-
an accident.
This is kind of a reverse of the bios of Ni no Kuni 2, in the sense that Ni no Kuni 2's bios provide additional extra detail instead of the full-blown backstory of the character.
Yeah. I was actually about to ask, how much of this backstory is actually told to us in story?
Pretty much most of it. Most of the actual backstory of these characters is told to us in these bios, Jova.
But never in cutscenes.
David,
gameplay.
no, David, show,
David
don't
took-
tell.
So David
Jesus
took-
Christ.
So
I
basically,
don't think we
David
met this
took-
guy until
You know,
now.
he's the barman, Theo. He's not important.
Oh, it's the bar. Why
Wow,
do we
he
have
gave
like
a bio
What-
for the
yeah,
bartender.
And keep in mind, Jova, he doesn't have a single line of dialogue in the entire game. So why bother dedicating a bio to this guy?
deepest?
Because he also hates androids, as the bio says, and said he is very proud that his bar is android free, even though I never got that inkling from him whatsoever. What is
There
even
was
the point?
there was
The sign on the door of the bar.
Yeah, technically, but that's
You know
pretty
what?
much it.
You know what this is like? This is like if Ace Attorney gave a bio for every person you see in the background, even the people you don't talk to.
Okay, so I'm not gonna stop reading those because otherwise I'll die of old age before this playthrough is over. So
Don't get me wrong. Bios can be nice and everything, and extra stuff is nice.
Well, yeah,
but
like
a
I
lot
said,
of this
Ni no
is
Kuni 2.
like stuff that I should have known about.
I actually
from what I've
wonder
heard.
how
Won't be
would this
told in
compare to
game.
the character section in the data log of Final Fantasy 13?
well, the Final Fantasy 13 data logs too. That's more so about important ways about how the world works and the overall terminology, which is important. So it shouldn't be in data logs.
No.
This-
What I mean is the character section specifically.
Oh, that.
like-
The,
give
I would,
13 credit.
the
We
character
actually learned what we
sections
need
is
to know about
unnecessary.
the characters.
Well, yeah, the character bios are unnecessary to read. I would argue in 13, those are fine. It's mostly the terminology and the overall lore being all explained in the data logs. That's the problem. Not so much the character bios. That's fine.
So arguably,
All right, so here's
Goody,
so
time for the
here
abusive.
so here's the chapter that had that controversial trailer.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was the launch trailer.
No, Shira, no, actually it wasn't. The launch trailer of
Oh, wasn't it?
the launch trailer was a combination of various different chapters. There was a specific trailer that was dedicated exclusively to this chapter.
Because I thought they had the one line in the initial trailer.
No. The initial trailer.
Oh.
No, the initial trailer for the Become Human was actually
Oh my God.
just a narration by Kara. It wasn't anything. It didn't even show anything else.
What's this, Jova? You're set back by how amazingly stupid is characterization for Todd.
And
is.
okay, I would like to say something, by the way.
I just have to say this. I'm amazed. They actually had Todd say something that wasn't evil and vile.
Also, saying out there, those spaghettis are terrible.
Cherish that, Jova, because it's a rarity.
I know, it's my shock.
I hate this chapter with all my passion, and not for the reasons you're thinking right now, Shiro, believe it or not. That too, yes, but there's an even bigger reason, just in terms of how insulting it is to my intelligence. Unfortunately, I cannot explain why I hate this chapter so much. Well, okay, there's one major reason I can, but the primary reason why I hate this chapter so much I cannot explain yet, because it would involve spoilers for the big plot twist of the game. But let's just say, Jova, this chapter, and I'm pretty confident Teo and Shiro will back me up on this. In hindsight, this chapter makes no sense and is full of lies to the player. Let's just say.
Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to bother using my special power being able to call David Keats spots, because I actually want to be completely fresh when I see this eventually just collapse under its own stupidity.
Oh, trust me.
You could make the argument.
Just cherish now Todd's stupid voice acting.
Anyway, what were you saying, Shuri?
I'll tell you in a moment, because this needs to be
Oh,
seen.
no.
If androids are so bad, why do you own one? You fucking...
He's lazy.
And now he's gonna get mad at his daughter. I thought you hated androids. Now you're gonna take it out on
He's
your
an
daughter?
abusive father.
He's a raging alcoholic.
And drug addict.
I get it. That people are mentally...
Hold on.
Wait for it.
Oh, no.
Hold on. Yep, this is classic David Cage cheese right here.
So basically, the mother left because...
Wait.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, something clipped in and out.
This is classic David Cage cheese. Okay, allow me.
That makes this, like, even without, because I know what Pedro's referring to and the thing that he's not going to say, this scene is still terrible because it's so fucking disrespectful to this kind of thing.
Yes, and
it's actually very gross.
Yes,
and laughing is because of the actor's delivery.
And the script itself.
That delivery, that's something straight out of Heavy Rain right there. The main problem is the way David Cage... You can't... Okay, see, here's the thing. You can have a story about something like this, of course. The problem is you need to have it be told with tact, subtlety, and complete...
guys.
Well,
it's time for Kara to break.
That was my point, that I was trying to get at.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god, guys, he actually mentioned that.
Okay, Jova, here's another thing. Now I have a big choice, actually. I can either comply with Todd's orders and not become sentient, which would mean which means that he will eventually get angry and break me again, and this time he won't ask me to fix me, which means Kara will die right here and her story will end and the game will move on without her. Or I can become sentient and protect Alice.
So is there like a middleman where you report him to the police?
No. You don't report to the police. Remember, remember, Jova. She's an android. She can't report to the police because she technically ran away from her owner, and that's a big no-no in this society.
Again, though, I mean, I'm guessing that her defending Alice, this is that. But again, there could be a middleman here. You know, I mean, seeing as how she's disobeying his orders either way.
Also, the fact that you refer to him as her owner, that doesn't help with the kind of story this is going on.
We'll get to the slavery metaphor later, Shiroi. But anyway, see, the big problem here is that, of course, this is the kind of story that can be told in quiet, character-driven dramas. The problem is that requires subtlety, it requires tact, it requires a clear understanding of the subject matter, which is something that David Cage does not have. This is parental abuse as told by a 10-year-old. How do I make my abusive father?
And there you go, Jova. You're about to see an android becoming a deviant.
The androids becoming deviant, Jova, is visually represented by them literally breaking down an invisible wall.
Of course, because they're hacking themselves.
Yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind this visual representation of it. I just don't understand why invisible walls. Why can't it be something a bit more creative? But anyway,
I honestly have to. Oh, hold on.
I was saying that.
Sorry. No.
Well, I was saying, see, the big problem with this is that David Cage, once again, being David Cage, he writes the abusive father in an incredibly cartoonish, over-the-top way. How do I make the abusive father? Simple. I make him an incredibly evil piece of garbage with no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Because, newsflash, David, abusive parents are not necessarily completely raging alcoholic pieces of garbage that never smile. They can have different moods. They can have different traits. Don't get me wrong, they're still shit people because of what they do. Don't get me wrong.
There you go, Jova. Since we found the gun in the last segment with Kara, now we have the knowledge to go and take it here for us to be
how far
helping.
down the road they are, because they can be straight up like this.
Don't get me wrong. Yes, I'm sure that there are people that are like this. The problem is, even if you really intend to write a character that literally acts like this, you still have to have better writing that makes the character feel like a real person. And none of these characters I find believable because the dialogue is so cringe-worthy. Again, it's classic David Cage. This is the same problem we've been having since Heavy Rain. Like, David Cage sucks as a writer. It just boils down to the fact that he just can't write. He just can't.
I mean, the problem we've been having since Indigo Prophecy.
Well, true. However, I would argue that...
And now, classic David Cage fight sequence.
I don't think I found the gun, did I?
No, you just wrestled him.
Okay, so let me guess. If you don't stop him, he ends up killing the girl, and that's why he breaks Kara without having her being returned.
Yeah. Basically, Jova, if you die in this chapter, that's it. Your Kara's story is over, and you move on with just Connor and Markus.
Oh, I get that, but I'm guessing it's like, I'm guessing the reason that he breaks Kari if she doesn't move at all is because he killed his girl.
What happens is if you don't become sentient, he'll kill Alice, but after that he will continue. It will also beat the crap out of you just because because he's a raging alcoholic. That's why he does. No. Well, yeah, it's exactly that. Yes, Jova. Technically, we've had this problem since Indigo Prophecy, but that's the thing, Jova.
And there you go.
Even with Indigo,
she kills him.
I think the reason it's not as noticeable in Indigo Prophecy, it's more so because the problems with every Indigo Prophecy is more so the fact that the plot is incredibly moronic and stupid rather than the dialogue itself. Because I don't know.
The dialogue did not help matters.
Interesting. You decided to kill Todd.
Don't get me wrong. The dialogue in Indigo Prophecy is still bad, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the bad acting of this guy. And the bad acting of Heavy Rain, but I don't know. There's just something about the dialogue of Indigo Prophecy that just doesn't feel quite as cringy to me.
I love how the music pumps up out of nowhere, for the dramatic effect.
It's like the house scene in Beyond Two Souls.
Also, Shira, another thing that I will also add to what we were talking about, Shira. Yes, technically there are raging alcoholic parents, abusive, who are like this. But here's the problem. Wouldn't it make for a much more believable and interesting character if you gave him layers? Instead of just making him a cartoon?
I have an entire checklist of problems with
as I just said, that is a believable aspect to it. There are actually people in that situation who are straight up like that.
True. But from a writing perspective.
Hold on.
Can I finish, please?
Sure.
Fiction usually goes for that take, though. It doesn't do any of the others. So, yes, while it would be nice, this isn't unrealistic.
I'm not saying it isn't.
Dialogue tanks, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, okay, here's my major issue with the abuse. Now, I get it, not all abuse makes sense. But I'm sorry, the abuse in this one is... The abuse here literally does feel like there's no rhyme or reason. And again, I get it. Maybe sometimes in real life you may not get bits like that. But I'm sorry, this feels like a story that's demanding that we find it oh so clever here and there.
More like emotional.
As you can see, there are a lot actually of endings for this outcome.
Yes, there's actually quite.
So let me guess. There's one version where you can actually get Alice out without killing her father.
Yes, actually.
Well, actually, I didn't kill Todd. I just knocked him out.
No, actually, you killed him.
Did I? Oh, did I? Oh, never mind.
Shot him in the chest.
Oh, never mind. I did. Okay.
Kara
Yeah,
woke
yeah,
up
so
with
I'm-
blood all over him.
You
Pretty
can.
sure he was dead, Pedro. Unless
Keep in mind.
Never mind. I wasn't paying much. I wasn't paying much attention to the footage, Jova.
For example,
Sure.
Jova, one possible outcome: if you bring the gun to the room, basically you're sort of automatically winning. Kara doesn't get killed because even if you
Look at all those endings.
If you fuck up all the fight QTs, Alice will pick up the gun and actually shoot Todd herself.
Yeah, there is actually an ending where Alice is the one that kills Todd.
Oh, goody! Now it's time for Markus again.
So
Before
let
we
me
get
guess.
into that, though, there's something to be said about what Jova said earlier about the whole police thing, because you'd think with the technology that goes into these androids, they could communicate via Bluetooth or something, or GPS.
They do have that, Shiroi. We're about to see that actually.
I don't know, Lance. I don't know.
We know through Connor that androids in the police force exist. So I have to ask, why didn't Kara do that?
Maybe there's maybe it's one of those things, sure, where the primary directive of the android's programming is to obey the owner above all else. Yes, I know. We'll get to the slavery metaphor later, not now.
They'd have a fight or fly response though in their programming anyway.
I feel like we've already reached the slavery metaphor. I mean, we literally have the guy saying to Kara, "I own you and I rule your world," and all that jazz. Like,
I kind of sort of agree. At this point, Carl can
Yeah.
just drink whatever the fuck he wants.
And now, also, I'll tell you, I'm gonna need you to help me out here because I still call I still call bullshit. Well, it's not going to happen in this particular playthrough, but I will talk about the specific outcome that can happen in this chapter that I still call bullshit on because, yes, okay, how frail is this guy, the guy that we're going to meet in a moment? But I'll bring it up when it becomes relevant. No, I don't mean the old man, Shiroi. I actually mean his son.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm pretty sure in my run of this game, even I was questioning that.
There you go, see? He's using the Bluetooth thingy right now. To
call the police.
There you go, see? They can call the police, Shiroi. There you go.
And he isn't even a, quote, deviant yet.
Maybe they can only call the police if the owner orders them to...
That was actually an order from Carl.
no, Carl, let's not check it out. But of course, because it's his order.
Sorry, Jova. David Cage wants to take this particular chapter into a very specific direction, so he's going to force it no matter how contrived it is. So.
You know, David, when you make it so that we're forced to go in a specific direction, that just makes it all the more obvious.
Oh, look at that. It's the prodigal son.
What are you doing?
Let me guess, he's... That line read. Let me guess, something's gonna happen that ends up with one or both of them ending up dead.
Only one. But, yeah, he wants to sell the painting so he can buy more red eyes.
So, is red eyes just the root of all evil?
Jova, yes, Jova. The red eyes is the plot excuse to have people act like assholes, like I've explained in the previous part.
So, how you approach?
Advice.
Again, though, I mean, you know, the fact that
well,
they
remember, Teo, what you're seeing here is my blind playthrough, as you can see for the upload date.
Yeah.
Again, you know, they bring up red eyes so much, you'd think that, you know, they'd make red eyes... Oh, God.
Oh,
This guy
my...
is such a poser. Like,
Wait, I get it now. So red eyes basically makes people act like cartoon villains.
Okay, okay.
It's time for Markus to actually go...
Okay, allow me. Usually when I play David Cage's games, I try to pick the choice that I think the character would choose. You know, the one that feels the more logical to me from the character's point of view. And Markus is very very friendly, and he really likes the old man. So I decided to just, okay, I'll try to obey. I will become... Well, I still have to become deviant.
There you go, he's becoming deviant as a result.
So the game still makes you do it?
No, Joe, but I can still choose to not hit him. To not retaliate. And if I remember correctly, I don't retaliate. Hold on.
So then what is with that whole...
Carl is telling me specifically to not retaliate, so I'm going to do what because it makes sense that for me it makes sense that Markus would do it because he really wants to do what Carl tells him. So I'm gonna do it.
But unfortunately, Carl should have taken his medicine.
Which means that now Markus is going to get blamed.
Exactly.
Very good, Jova. Okay, allow me to talk about the alternate outcome. If I retaliate, Jova, here's what happens. If I retaliate, Markus pushes him. He doesn't punch him or anything, he just pushes him with his palms of his hands. Then Leo falls, and he dies.
Wait,
Doesn't he
dies?
hit a blunt object or something?
Okay, yes, he does technically hit a blunt object, Teo, but here's the thing, Markus doesn't push him even with all that much strength. Okay, I can understand that he would get knocked out and unconscious.
I don't remember specifically how he falls, so we'll need to check later.
But he died, that's the thing, he dies immediately, like right there and then, like it's, okay, human beings can be frail, but not, okay, maybe if it was the old guy, then it would be more believable to me, but that dude is clearly like in his 20s, late 20s, early 30s.
Okay. So then after that, what? Does Leo then hate you then? And then he basically tells the officers on you?
Leo accused Markus.
We just got shot.
Yeah, Leo accused Markus and we got shot because of it.
No.
Also,
Pedro, I was talking about the alternative.
Right? The alternative, if I kill Leo, the cops arrive, they see that I killed Leo, and they shoot me anyway.
Carl tries to say, no, don't do it, but we do it anyway.
Oh, so Carl actually doesn't.
All right, back
to good stuff.
It's
time to introduce one of the this guy is the douchey guy of Connor's route.
Because of course, because God forbid a human being in this game has layers aside from Hank.
I mean, I'm not even joking. You can swap the son of Carl and this guy, the police, and they have the exact same attitude.
They look like they have the same model. I honestly thought that guy was Carl.
Oh no! I can guarantee you, Jova, that I can guarantee you, Jova, that every character, well, aside from maybe the extras in the background or something, every character has their own model based on the actor playing him.
Also, another thing, you may notice that Hank is indicated on a neutral level.
Oh no! After all, it's not human. Hold on.
That's reasonable to say.
What? They literally have bombs implanted in them?
I love his reaction now. Hold on. An android interrogating an android. That's just
that makes no sense.
That was a forced laughter if I ever saw one.
I mean, yeah.
I'm genuinely convinced the actor was gritting his teeth while doing this shoot.
Yeah, think of a paycheck.
Guys, I just want to point out a plot hole here. The police brought in an android on Connor's first mission because he was meant to deal with an android. No, I'm not going to buy that. Oh, this police officer never heard about the first case that Connor ever showed up on. He's a police robot. I'm pretty sure that would show up in the records. So,
hold on, Joe.
Watch this. That's actually genuinely funny.
What the fuck is it doing now?
I am dead convinced that Clancy Brown improvised the line.
That was the only genuine delivery you will hear.
Clancy, you are my hero in this
But
game.
anyway, I'll explain the thing about Hank later. For now, Pedro, explain how this interrogation works.
Yes, I hate Gavin because Gavin is such a... Again, yet another cartoonishly evil person that doesn't actually have a character. But anyway, yeah. Now we're going to interrogate this android about what the hell happened at the house. Here's how the
You did say self-defense, but I wonder if we'll hear more now.
I'll explain as we go. Oh, actually, never mind. I still have to analyze, so I guess I'll analyze first. Okay, let's analyze the various clues first.
Let me guess. Analyzing makes it so that your interrogation can be more successful.
Exactly.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, get more evidence to make the whatever easier.
I'd say it's neat that they give you the option to go right ahead, but the issue is that, dude, who wouldn't scan for more information? Because obviously people want to try and get the better ending.
Depends. If you're there are some sadistic
Unless you're
people who want to
smart.
get the bad ending on purpose and first try or something.
Well, yeah, true. I get that. It's just like,
Well, I
But,
tried that in the tutorial, but I didn't know that the casual difficulty would lock me out of it. I tried
that's
everything.
that's another problem.
dang, that's
Anyway.
mean.
Time to talk.
So we need to notice that meter over there. Level of stress.
Yeah.
It's at 35%.
Oh wow! Does this actually mean something unlike the Fahrenheit temperature?
It
Pretty much.
It does, much like the first chapter.
Yes.
You need to
Basically,
keep it on the
Jova.
level that you want.
Basically, Jova. Oh, well, hold on. I'll mention it when
Yeah,
when
go
it shows
ahead.
on screen again. You recognize him? Yeah.
Where have I heard that name before? And
It's
not
the-
in this
it-
game, but I feel like I've heard it elsewhere.
Ortiz is a common last name.
It's
Yeah, specifically Carlos Ortiz.
Yeah, notice
common.
notice that little rectangle in the meter, those little white thingies marking a specific zone of the meter. That's the optimal zone. In order to get the android to confess, I need to keep his stress level in that zone. Here's the thing. Every time I do something among these choices, his stress either rises or lowers. So obviously I have to be careful about what things I say to him.
So I have to wonder what happens if he doesn't confess? Does he get destroyed or something?
If
If
you-
it's too low, it starts self-destructing. If it's too high, it just refuses to talk. Oh,
So by self-destruct, what does it mean? Like they commit suicide, or does he
Yes.
literally blow up?
Yes, no, he bangs his head until his brain stops working.
Let me guess. Even if you do get him to
blowing up
confess,
sounds less disturbing.
but let me guess. Even if you do get him to confess, then that just means that he's getting, I don't know, destroyed by the police.
No, you can't. No. What happens is, Jova, if we get him to confess, he'll still try to kill himself because he feels like he failed his friends. However, you can choose to save him and stop him from killing himself, and then he'll be taken into his cell.
Wait, so there's actually a jail for robots? Weird.
for deviants, yeah.
For
Kind of
deviants.
makes me wonder why they didn't just detain that other deviant guy from the first time with Connor then.
So yes,
Because humans are evil,
he's
Jova.
so yeah,
How much does this game go for nowadays?
now it's actually on sale right now on PSN if I remember correctly.
That
Weird,
didn't take
because the
long.
sales is tied to Japan, not France. Right now.
Well, remember, Teo, it says big in Japan. This game actually is big in Japan.
True. I suppose. Oh, jeez.
Why Japan?
Obey!
It's actually because of this storyline, Shiroi. Japan really likes Connor and Hank's plot.
Especially Korea. Just saying.
Wow.
Also,
Yeah,
Joe,
notice how it became red. Notice how I stressed him too much, and I'm saying protect. I'm saying that I'll protect him to calm him down, and now it's back on the optimal zone. So basically,
Also, although this leads kind of to a schizophrenic interrogation when Connor
Yeah.
just basically 1 second flips his shit and the second,
Oh.
don't worry, everything's fine.
you want to see that? Check out Shiroi's playthrough of this game because Shiroi basically kept yes. Well, not at the time of this recording, but you can see it for yourself since you have access to the channel. It's unlisted. Shiroi basically alternates between being aggressive and being pacifist to him.
Lovely.
But yeah, Jova, fair warning, do not look at the Detroit tag on Tumblr.
And
No,
Hank,
thank
and
you.
again, since I got the confession, Hank likes
Yeah,
that.
what I was throughout this entire storyline, Connor will have a sort of an affection meter, similar to a social link in Persona when you think about it, where Connor can decide to cooperate with him and understand him better, or just decide to do what he wants, and Hank will not bond with him.
You know, that's the thing about Connor.
Either
Connor
way,
seems,
people ship the fuck out of those two.
Yes, they do.
Connors to me seems to be the only android who's actually doing productive stuff. Like, yes, he's helping track down androids.
Oh yeah, Java, here's some more information on that red herring about religion. For example, the statue.
An offering, so I'll be saved. All right.
Oh,
What about
of course, there's
RA9.
a higher
yeah?
power.
So what's RA9? What is that thing?
Ask me what it means.
That's what it is.
Oh, of
There you go.
course.
Now,
Foreshadowing the
there you go.
revelation.
Now, there you go. Sure. Now they officially dropped the
They
allegory.
said the S word.
Blop.
Oh, gee, because it was oh so
Gamers
subtle
rise
before.
up.
because it was oh so subtle before he said it.
We do not need the gamers to rise up, please and thank you.
Arena.
Don't
bother,
stress
Jova.
Jova. It's one of the most blatant red herrings I've ever seen in a video game. If I have to be honest.
Yeah, they bothered to establish this supposed entity that the androids were, but they never ever explained who the hell this R9 is at all. Teo has a theory on who it could be, but it's never officially explained, so it's just a theory.
And keep in mind, David doesn't like to do sequels or other continuation of his products, so we will never know.
And yet he made a cliffhanger out of Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah, I still don't get it either.
David Cage wrote me.
You know, again, part of the reason Connor seems the best to me is like, well, in a sense, he's like Joker from Persona 5. He's not just out to get justice, but he's also doing his best to try and rehabilitate those of society here and there.
It's funny you mentioned that, Joe, because I bought Joker for Smash just recently.
Uh-huh. Keen. Maybe we can fight some later.
Alright,
So one last thing to ask.
why did you hide in the attic exactly?
Let me guess. Part of him knew that what he did was wrong, and he knows that Jesus will.
No,
forgive
keep him.
him.
Like I said, when androids become deviant, they are rushed into like a flurry of emotions at the same time. So obviously, this guy didn't know what to do after he murdered someone.
It's like that book, How to Murder Your Husband.
Confession obtained.
Yay!
We'll get you the help you need.
So
whatever they do.
easy enough, right, Jova? Well, we didn't counted one person in the room actually.
Remember, we have a cartoon in the room, so obviously he's going to be cartoonishly evil. I'm sorry, sure, but I'm gonna have to once again take one of Dwebs' lines from his Chappie commentary. These are not characters; they're cartoons.
Uh-oh. Too much stress.
So I can choose to intervene, but whatever.
Yeah, fuck him.
Honestly, at this point, I just didn't. I didn't really care. I got my confession. I don't really care about anything else.
Damn.
Sorry, but it's not like the game made me actually care about that android anyway. So whatever. Bye.
I mean,
And here's an interesting thing, probably because it was built specifically for that. But Connor, as you can see, goes through witnessing all these things that the other android seems to be traumatized of and inspires him to become deviant. But he remains loyal, and you keep in mind, mid spoilers, sorta. Connor will remain loyal for pretty much 3/4 of his storyline, potentially all the time if you want. So that actually fascinates me a bit. I'm guessing, like I said, he was built kind of like that in order to resist, since he has to deal with androids themselves. But yeah, also I guess it gives sort of another theme, because I'm that convinced David Cage wanted to reference RoboCop in some fashion, but just wanted to be his usual kookiness instead of being more physically direct in
that's
references.
impossible to you. RoboCop is too violent, and it's just about guns and all that.
This game,
But David Cage would love RoboCop.
This game is has a fair amount of violence, I would say. Forgot what was the rating.
Well, that's the thing, though, Tio. Despite these games clearly having violence, David Cage always says, "Oh, but don't you see, violence does not make these games good, or violence only makes the games bad."
David Cage being hypocritical about something.
I've never seen that before.
No, never.
No way. Prepare to be
can't
mystified
believe
more in the next part of this,
See ya.
whatever this game is.
But Jova, don't you see? It's about segregation and tolerance and
You
slavery.
handle segregation about as well as Chuck Austin handles Superman. Badly.
See ya.
Or how well Frank Miller handles Batman.
Or how
Frank
Doug
Miller
Monk
used to handle-
writes Batman. But yeah, we're digressing. See you for the next
Yeah.
part.
See ya.
See ya.